What are your 3 words? Today we're going to talk about hope, perseverance, and focus on Coffee with Tea. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Tea on Confidence Rise. I'm your host, Tonia Tyler, and I'm excited because today we're going to talk to Miss Theresa, who's going to share her insight on energy and how we can make that work for ourselves instead of repelling it. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on Miss Theresa Vermillion. I hope I pronounced that correct, please.
You did. Sounds great. Hi. It's great to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure always to talk to you. We've met at networking events, and you always share some great insight because I know you do a little bit of personal training on the side, correct?
Yes.
And so you always have this cheerful attitude, great enthusiasm when you come to the networking meeting. So it's always great to talk to you and see what you're working on. And I thought it was a great way to bring you on here and share some of your great work that you're doing. So thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. Yes.
Well, I know we had a little talk, and we were talking about energy work and stuff like that. So with this COVID-19 and stuff that's been in place, how important is considering energy work right now? How important is it to really get your energy vibes going good?
Wow, that is super, super important because there's so much going on and we've got so much coming at us. And a lot of the ideas with the energy is that if you are aware of it and you're aware of your thoughts and you're aware of what that vibe is doing for you as we get information in and what that does for your vibe, and if you're aware of what that does in your body and how you feel those vibes, then you're able to shift them. So that we're not just living in this, there's a lot of fear out there right now and a lot of, I would say it's a negative vibe. I'd say there's some negativity and it takes a lot of work to manage that with your mind. But if you know how and what you're doing and have worked on it, then it really can serve you.
Right.
To deal with it.
I mean, I know, we got a lot of stuff that's going on, and I'm not here to debate and discuss all that stuff. So, I mean, how do you, eliminate a lot of that negativity flow? Is there some, I would say, one tip that you would share to help people, focus on getting that energy out of the negative energy out of their life?
Oh yeah, of course. There's lots of good tips for shifting that energy. I'd say number one, pay attention to your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Because our thoughts often trigger our feelings. So if we're having a negative thought, we're going to have a negative feeling. And then a lot of that brings down our vibe. And then that's where we start to, we try to numb those feelings then, because they're negative. We feel like we've been taught that we don't want to feel those negative feelings. So that's when we start to do the extra, let's just go to the kitchen and get something to eat because I don't want to feel these feelings sometimes. And we don't realize that's what our bodies are doing, but that's what our bodies and our brains are doing. So, and that's well, let's just have another cocktail because I don't want to feel these negative feelings that are in my body. So if you're aware of those thoughts that are causing those feelings, and that's, then you can think the easy ways of shifting are just doing breath work, journaling, moving your body, just get out and go on a walk, change your scenery, get outside, dance, put on some music. And putting on music really is one of the best ways I think that you can shift that vibe pretty quickly.
Right. I know. I can definitely attest to that because like I said, when you're feeling blue, just pop on a good song that makes you get up and move inside energy. So I always think is moving the energy is moving that shift. I would say that stale energy, is that basically what you're doing? It's getting the energy moving so you can
Yes.
let go of the negative for the positive.
Yeah. So when is what we're taught the thinking now is everything is energy, right? We are energy. Everything around us is energy. And there's negative energy and there's positive energy, right? And so positive energy attracts positive energy and negative energy attracts negative energy. So if we choose to put out those positive vibes, we are going to attract positive energy. And so that all feeds off of each other. And if we're choosing those negative vibes, or we're not choosing to shift away from those negative vibes, we're going to attract more of that negative energy. And I think that's where people do start to feel stuck or go down those spirals and things like that.
Right.
Instead of just like realizing what we're doing and then trying to shift it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I know that's like a lot of deep work. So
It
really
is a lot of deep work.
It is a deep work.
It sounds very woo too, you know?
I mean,
like, but there's so much to it that
you know, a lot of people don't. I mean, I'm not saying a lot of people don't. It took me a little while to go in and start doing my work. So, I mean, it takes a little while for you to get to that point. But I mean, where did your journey like start on this?
That's a great question. Because let me think. My background is in education. I have a degree in education. I raised my kids, and it's hard because I wish I knew so much of this earlier, right? But of course, perfect timing. There's a reason why I know it now, and you can't go back and wish any of that away. Things are the way. We're on our paths for a reason, and by design, I think. So about 10 years ago, my second career was, like you said, a personal trainer. I became a personal trainer, and then became a certified health coach so that I could, do more with my clients. And I think just reading books and looking for ways to improve myself. I think just having that self-awareness and realizing that there's a way to grow. So as I was working as a personal trainer, I had an injury to my back that was there, but then there was a sudden change to the injury that required me to have back surgery. And I remember like being afraid, I wasn't afraid to do the surgery. I just didn't want to do it. So that was, because nobody wants to do that.
Right.
And so after the surgery, I remember thinking, I can't believe I did this. And then I had that conversation with myself, like, you better get it together because you need to heal. And I knew that if I sat there and thought negative thoughts, that affects your body, that sits in your body. And I was like, so I started, and I guess I would have, see what other people were doing. Like I would have conversations with my back, like I'm going to be strong. I'm going to heal. You are healthy. I started learning to write a mantra for myself that and when you do mantras, they're great, but they need to be true for you. You can't just say something that's not true because your brain will know it's not true and it won't believe it. So, but that was part of my mantra. I am healthy. And I'm strong, and that was super important to me. So I think too, just reading the books, paying attention to who's out there and what they're saying. And one of the books that really helped me shift a lot was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and that was a big shift for me. I think an eye-opener, like, you just keep going down that's not a dark rabbit hole, that's a really fun rabbit hole.
It is. I mean, like you said, my journey started about 10 years ago as well. So I don't know, it was like, does it come to a certain degree in your life that, it's like, poof, you know what? Mm-hmm. Figure out who you really are at this time, So it's I'm funny. So I love the journey. So you talk about mantras, and I know you shared something about I am healthy. So you talked about your 3 words. So what are your 3 words that you are like living your life by right now?
I like that you said right now, because they are my current 3 words. And I just think that's so fun too, that not only do we sometimes pick words, I know it was very much more popular at the beginning of the year, like, what's your word for the year? And pick your word for the year. And I thought that was interesting because I've been doing this for several years. And again, I wish I could pinpoint the time and the place where I had that aha moment, but words have been picking me for a few years, usually a phrase, like, 1 year it was all in. 1 year it was right now, because you just need to start now. So at the beginning of this year, my word, I kept seeing show up, the words keep going. So my word for this year is perseverance. But when the COVID shutdown started and all of this broke out, I had to take, I took a minute, like everybody else, but then thank goodness I was able to shift somewhat quickly, because of the work I've been doing with, mindset and positivity and energy and all of that. And then I thought, okay, what does the world need? What do we need now? And the three words that came to me were hope, perseverance, and focus. And which was fun because perseverance was my word for this year. And so, it's really been fun because I've been digging into hope. Like when you think of the word hope feels like it's just wishful thinking, right? And it's kind of a fluffy word. And, but actually, hope is really a great tool to have in your toolbox. It is, to have hope means that you have to believe in the future. So it also means that you have to prepare for that future you believe in. And the example I use where the pool's getting ready to open up, I walk by a pool and you see the cover is off, it's filled up, the chairs are lined up, they're out of storage. The pools don't open until Memorial Day weekend typically, but you have to be prepared for what we expect to happen in the future. So there have been some really great researches done by people about athletes and their hope and how that drives them. And the other analogy used for that was like if you have this really awesome sports car in your garage, like so the sports car is your skills, your talent, your hard work, all of those things that come together, but hope is what drives the car down the road. So that was it. And then going on, perseverance is just the act of not giving up, especially when things get hard, and sometimes things get hard and we're like, well, okay, I can manage this. And then they get harder. And you're like, okay, push through this thing. And then they get harder. And you're like, come on, world, what is going on? But we persevere, right? The fact that we're here today means that we are persevering no matter what, right? So no matter how hard things get, you just keep pushing through. And that is one of, if you were to do an internet search for what makes someone successful, you're going to find the word perseverance every single time. Because especially as entrepreneurs and, people that are out there chasing a dream that looks different to other people, perseverance is super, super important. And then the third word was focus. And that goes back to a little bit of that energy. We have to focus on the good, focus on what it is we're really after. And again, when you're an entrepreneur, you have those dreams that look a little different than everybody else's dreams. It's easier for us. We can get distracted easily. We can lose that focus because it doesn't look like everybody else. And so when other people question us, it would make us question ourselves. And if we just stay focused on to our own truth, what we know we are going after, and know that we can make it happen with our perseverance and our hope, then that is absolutely what we need to do. And when we feel those negative feelings come in or that negative energy, we're able to refocus that, then that's also going to get us through.
How do you shift into those words? Like I know you said it starts with your awareness. So, I mean, do you just let the words come to you, or do you how did you get to the part of finding the words? Do they just come to you, or do you look them up and find the meaning behind them and then live that way? How did you come about with those three words?
Honestly, they came to me. I feel like I never say that my ideas are really my own. I really think that they're God-given. I think that the Spirit talks to me and gives me those ideas, because I get a lot of ideas. Like that's one of my frustrations. Like I have so many ideas that I can't act on them all fast enough. But I do, like even when I'm working with my clients and something profound happens, so I know that was not all of my own work. I feel like they're gifts that were given. Yeah, I do feel like those words were given to me, but I have so much fun with words. I do that go look the word up and what does this mean? And does it mean what I think it means? And does it fit in this part, you know, like even with my my own business and doing like energy. I love to like look up the word energy because that can go a lot of places. And vibration, you know, people talk about a really good vibe, which is, you know, positive energy, right? You walk into a coffee shop, you're like, wow, this place has a great vibe. Or we get vibrations from people, you know, and a lot of people talk about that as like, that's our gut reaction, our gut instinct, which is also very true. We need to listen to those gut instincts. And I think I'm getting off topic a little bit, but I'll just share with you about your gut.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
We can come back to words, the words and how we find them. But our guts actually, like, you know, our brains and our guts talk to each other. And we and this goes back to, it does go back to the thoughts and feelings. We think that our brains are in control. What we have learned, scientists, researchers have learned, is that we have more nerves going from our gut to our brain, sending messages to our brain, than we have messages going from our brain to our gut. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so it's like your brain is more like the control center.
Mm-hmm. But your gut is really what knows what's going on.
Oh, okay.
And that goes it back to too. That's a great reason to eat healthy and keep your gut healthy. Even like, because it all happens on a cellular level and our intuitive level, but it's all like, it's connected on a level that we don't even know yet.
For that passion really to spark, what was it that you're really like hoping to help people with, you know?
I think this realization that we really are in control of the direction of our lives. A lot of people go through life feeling like life is happening to them, like they don't have choices, like they are stuck where they are, whether it's a job that they're not happy with, or relationships that they're not happy with, or, you know, whatever, you know, that with a body that they think they're not happy with, that they can choose to think differently about that, and they can choose to change it. And I know everybody's got difficult circumstances or some kind of a difficult past. So to say that you can shift it, I don't take that lightly. I know you can't just do it. I mean, if it's something small, you can do it on a dime, of course. But if it's, you know, if you're really unhappy with your life and you're really ready to make those changes, like a lot of us stay stuck because it's easier to stay stuck than it is to make the changes. Mm-hmm. It's easier to stay in the pain we know than to change to the pain that we don't know. But that's, I think, where I get excited. Like, if people realize how much power they really have, how much control you have over your own life, and being able to make those shifts, that if you decide to do it, you can do it. You might need to work with somebody or do some investigation or research on your own and learn how to do it. I'm not saying you wake up doing it just because you decided to, but there are a lot of people that would help you make those shifts if that's what you're ready to do in your life. Right. And that goes across the board. That is relationships, body, eating, food, dieting, thoughts, behaviors, beliefs, work, job, dreams, goals, you know, it crosses the board.
Right. Like I said, you have, I mean, it's amazing how fast time flies. And I say this all the time, especially when you're having a great conversation. But I mean, for those who really want to find more information, and I don't want to cut out, where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook. Just find Theresa Vermillion. I think it's T Vermillion 1. And they can email me at Theresa@fitnessempowermentproject.com. But Facebook is really my primary hangout, so they can find me on Facebook. My Facebook group is currently called, I'm going to change the name of it soon. I'm in the middle of rebranding a few things. Fitness, food, feelings, friends, and fun is my Facebook group. So find me there.
Well, Miss Theresa, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
It has been a pleasure with me as well. Thank you so much. Always a good time hanging out with you, Tonia.
And I always learn something new. So that's a great thing, though. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I hope that people reach out to me, because I would love to connect with you.
All right. Well, again, thank you for joining in. Feedback is always welcome. Email me if you have any guests or show ideas. Links will be posted in the comments, like I said. Please like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, take things in stride, go with the flow, and create your own path. So again, thank you for joining us. Question of the day: what are your 3 words? Please put them in the comments and share with us.